So overtime, well, it's lunchtime. I've got half my lunch hour left and thought I'd have a quick investigation into that little chap there. The windscreen wiper stalk doesn't squirt the windscreen. It'll turn the windscreen wipers on in all the different settings, and if you push it, it will turn the windscreen wipers on. You get three, three flicks of the windscreen, but nothing squirts. I know the jets are okay. They're definitely okay. Coming up to MOT, you had to push it really, really, really hard for it to work. So, yeah, I think that's probably due for replacement. Fortunately, I've got about 7 of them, and hopefully one of them's going to work. So I'm going to get the parcel shelf off. I've just unhooked it. Interestingly, this box here happens to be the brain for the cruise control. So that will need unclipping. And then underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, but there's loads of different connectors. One of them that has lots of pretty colours going into it is the connector for the windscreen wiper stalk. So let's get the box off. I'll get the shroud off as well. This thing, so then I get access. Strip it down, and then maybe this evening I can start fiddling around. So I don't know if you can see there, but that screw, there's another screw there. They're a real pain to get off with just a spanner, so time for the socket set. Oh, I've got action shots. Oh, dear. Guys, how Nitro Silver manages to weld a car with one hand. It's hard enough just doing a nut with one hand. I'm an amateur at this thing. And there we have one removed glove box. Always takes longer than I think it's going to, because these are really fiddly. These things, they're really fiddly. But hey, that's done, that's off. Everything's disconnected. That would be connected and held in the glove box. So next thing is the shroud. And here is one steering column without the shroud on. And what can we see? We can see, I wonder what that's connected to. I disconnected the LED to the top of the shroud. I don't know what, there, I can see that there. It's got the rheostat connected to it. There we go, so that's still plugged in. So I don't really want to go disconnecting that. And of course I've got the cruise control stalk there as well. Although cruise control on this car doesn't actually work because you can't get vacuum to the bellows to pull on the accelerator cable. But what I can see is if I've got the stalk there, where's the camera on this? It's that end, isn't it? So I can see that this is held on by 1, 2 screws. Got a screw there and a screw there. I think that's something else. So yeah, just held in place. We've got some connections behind that. Yeah, and this is just going to sit there loosely, just manoeuvred out the way. I've pulled the steering wheel back and down. It's normally quite close into the dashboard. And then underneath, the connectors are up there. So this evening I'll come back and I will unplug the connector for the windscreen washer, provided that, you know, unplug that, try the spares that I've got, and assuming that one of them works, I'll then look about replacing this. It looks like that goes off into the shroud, yeah, so that goes off into there and then back through here. So I'm gonna have to be pretty careful to see where it goes, make sure I trace it back. But yeah, kind of fascinating. Big bundle of wires there. I wonder what they're for. More wires over there. This will be for another time. Another thing while I'm here, something I need to deal with is this. I've got this bent rail. As a result of having a bent rail, it means that this little switch here doesn't actually hold in place. As for the illumination of the boxes, the glove boxes, so it's all looking quite good back here. Got some soundproofing on there. Can't see any rust, but I know this is a fairly rust-free car. Okay. Oh, actually, that's quite interesting. That must be the fibre optic, and not all of my dashboard lights up. That'd be something to have a look at maybe when I've got all this off. Right, until later, ta-ra. Okay, so it's the evening, just had my tea, and I'm back in the car. And this is the potential replacement stalk for the, well, for that. Don't know if this works. I have taken the end off, which, just to see how it works, and it's probably not really demonstrating, but you can probably hear it click at that point. I don't know, can I push it against my... Seems to have like quite good action. There's a spring inside, and there's a little nib inside that end cap, which then pushes against the pushes the spring, pushes two I don't know, connectors, little bits of copper it seems, pushes that out, connects with the spring, and that's it, makes a circuit, which I kind of think that is probably doing, but I don't know why it's not firing the well, at this stage, why it's not firing the windscreen washer. Anyway, so looking at the other side of it, it's got a church connector. I think these are called church connectors. It's got a whole load of connectors on the end there, and lots of pretty colours. So the idea is I'm going to look on the inside underneath the dashboard, disconnect the old connector, and then put this in, stick the battery on, and see if it squirts the windscreen. That's the plan. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that first, because I finally managed to get the end off. This was stuck solid. You can see how, you know, that bit just slides on really, and then you've got these two connectors. Wow, how do I get an angle on that? Got these two connectors that are on here. I tried to get this off earlier, so I mean, that doesn't move or anything like that, but you've got these two connectors, and then if you see inside this cap, there's a little nib, and that pushes on these. You know, it sort of spreads them apart, and it pushes on a spring. Except that spring looks like that, and that's quite nasty actually. It's quite corroded. And I don't know whether these, well, I mean, I guess it must do something, hadn't it? If it's, I don't know how that must work, because if it's activating the wipers itself, why does it require so much force to be able to get the thing to work, to wash on the squeeze? Well, anyway, so I got my good one over here, and the state of that spring, I say good one, my replacement, state of that spring, I mean, that looks much nicer. So I'm thinking that I might just pop this spring on. What if it's going to make a better connection than that old spring? I mean, it's worth a go before try and take everything apart. So I'll see if that works. Well, got the spring on, and yeah, that's not doing its thing at all, is it? No squirty action there. No, that ain't working. Right, so I'm going to try switch number 2. Right now I've got this connected in to the dashboard, and wow, push the end and no squirty squirts. So, but the weird thing is, what I don't, What I don't get... No, what I don't get is that was working for the MOT. So why isn't it working now? I assume the switch. Well, I started the switch and I mean it might be a dodgy switch. I'm just going to turn the ignition off. I do have other switches, so what I'm thinking is just to rule out the switch end. And I used to be an auditor, so I like testing things. At the switch end, I'm going to... What am I going to do? I'll try another one because I have many of these, so I'll try another one, and if that doesn't work as well, then I'm going to assume that that switch I've got in the car is good and the problem's got to be elsewhere. Try this entire assembly. I've got everything stuck to it. This part has, and that didn't work either. And I don't know. I guess that switch at the end would... I wonder if it's just coincidence, isn't it? The fact that I pushed it harder and it worked, but I bet the connection is probably somewhere else in the system. So I'm going to try the pump end. I've got a couple of wires that I've rigged. I'll get them on the battery, put it on the pump, and see what happens. Right, so I have had this problem before, and so I rigged these two cables up, and then wrapped them, as you can see there, and that then goes over there to the washer bottle, and that was a new known to be working jet. I don't know if you can see that, but it has actually indeed squirted the windscreen. So what happened was when I ended up putting that on there on the battery, it didn't really do anything, and then I heard it grunt, and then it decided to squirt. So I wonder now, if I was to take that off, put it back on, and then try the switch again, is it indeed then going to work? So great, after all that, taking things apart and so on and so forth, look what's happened. Look. Yeah, I could squirt that all day. But it's crazy, isn't it? So that was a new pump. That pump was previously tested as working, and it had stopped. I mean, that's kind of insane, really. But at least I've got a washer pump now that works. So small wins, which is good. Gonna get the car back together again. Although I am going to take that glove box rail off. Reason why, I saw it on eBay, but you know that's supposed to be straight. I'm certain of it. So I'm going to take that off, and I can get that straightened out and see how the glove box then sits. But yeah, okay, so that's good. Mission accomplished. Getting a bit dark in here. So earlier I was thinking this rail there, where you can see it's definitely got a bit of a kink in it there, and sort of connects over there. I was thinking, well, I could take that off. I mean, when I've gone to the trouble of taking this glove box off, what if I was to actually remove that? The question is though, how is it held in place? How's the... So that's the fibre optic. Am I getting this a bit off there actually? If that came off, I can sort of trace the fibre optics. Might be able to do... I reckon these are vacuum hoses? No, that's not vacuum hose. That's going to be aerial, I reckon, for the radio. That's vacuum hose, and I can definitely hear I've got a vacuum leak going on. Another video I said, well, you know, I've got the aircon going, and that seemed to create a bit more vacuum. It was, the heater actually blew some mess out. But it'd be interesting to see that, but maybe that's for another day. I don't know how that's connected on. Does it just pull off? No. Looks like, is that screwed on? I don't know how that's attached. That's a metal bracket. Oh. No, if I took it off on that end, does that come off and then that comes out? Looks like it might actually. No, if you saw that. At the end, if it does come out like that, I'm going to remove it at that end, I think, and see what happens. Can always put it back on. Yeah, it does. So I've got that bit there, got a bracket. So there was something that went behind it and then it screwed into the car. Gotta be careful that it doesn't fall down the back of the carpet. Got those hooks, and yeah, they can see that big kink in the rail, and then the end just hooks on. It's just a piece of tube. So hopefully I might be able to bash that straight. Might give that a go now. See if I get a quick result. Be nice to get a quick run. It's nice to be right for a change though, I must say. What's getting this back on? Couldn't work out where the plate, you know, is it body then plate then bracket, or is it body bracket then plate? And I thought, actually, get the plate on, and what I've discovered is actually this is all adjustable as a result. So I guess you could change the angle of the glove box by manipulating these bolts here. So maybe I can get a much better fit overall. We'll see. I can stick it all back together now. Well, I don't know how visible this is going to be. Glove box is back on, which I managed to do in the dark. I mean, it's gone dark now. Fits a bit better this side. It's a bit of a gap, but still a bit rubbish that side. On eBay there is a new rail. I might try that rail. It turns out the rail you could just sort of bend over your knee. It's just a pipe, just a tube. It'd be nice if that actually sat properly. I mean, it's a crazy thing. I mean, these are sort of Series 1 straps, except hopefully that one's been stapled, and it hurts if you get your finger on it. The other one over there, I sewed. I don't know if you won't be able to see that. That was a bit of my sewing. But yeah, that's staple. I could do some new straps really. I guess it's just lace at the end of the day. Got some hoses. Oh. So when you look at the passenger side, it's a bit better, but just still closed like that. You can see the little switch that does the illumination. That's why there's no bulbs in there. Anyway, I feel like I've achieved a little bit today. Well, the story is, if you think something works and it's not, just try it again, repeatedly. And then you have to take your dashboard apart to go and try and fix a switch that's actually not physically broken. Dear. Well, I learned some stuff today anyway, so it's not all bad things. And it helps spend some time with the car when you can't go out and drive it. So, yeah. End of video.